The transport pod shook as it entered the atmosphere of Korath Prime. Inside, a 12-year-old girl named Lily Parker pressed her face against the small window and watched the planet grow larger. The world below was dark and sharp. Mountains of black rock cut across the surface like broken teeth. Rivers of glowing orange lava flowed between them. There were no soft colors anywhere. No green forests. No blue oceans. Just stone and fire and shadow. Lily smiled. The robot assistant beside her made a worried sound. It had been making worried sounds for the entire 3-day journey. When it first scanned her enrollment documents, its screen had flickered with error messages. It scanned them again. Then again. Then it contacted the Galactic Education Bureau 17 times. Each time, the answer came back the same. Lily Parker. Age 12. Species: human. Destination: Korath Military Academy. The robot knew this was wrong. Everyone in the galaxy knew about Korath. It was the deadliest school in existence. Only the strongest species sent their children there. Warrior races. Predator species. Beings made of living metal or burning plasma. The Academy trained soldiers who would one day command fleets and conquer worlds. The first-year death rate was 30%. Sometimes higher. Humans did not go to Korath. Humans were soft and small and fragile. They lived short lives on their little blue planet at the edge of the galaxy. Most species barely knew they existed. Those who did considered them harmless, weak, unimportant, but the paperwork said what it said. And in the Galactic Education Bureau, paperwork was law. The transport pod landed with a heavy thud. The doors slid open, and hot air rushed inside. It smelled like smoke and something metallic. Lily grabbed her small bag and stepped outside. The landing platform was made of black stone. Around its edges stood beings that made Lily stop and stare. They were huge. The smallest was 3 times her height. Some had scales. Some had claws longer than her arms. One was made entirely of purple crystals that hummed with energy. Another looked like a shadow given solid form. They all wore the gray uniform of Korath Academy, and they all turned to look at the small human girl who had just arrived. Nobody spoke. Lily looked up at them. She looked at the jagged towers of the academy rising behind them. She looked at the training grounds in the distance, where explosions flashed and roars echoed. She looked at the weapons carried by every student she could see. Her smile grew wider. "This place is so cool," she said. The crystal being stepped forward. Its voice was deep and seemed to come from everywhere at once. "I am Commander Voss, Director of Korath Military Academy." A pause. "There has been a mistake." Lily nodded. "Yeah, the robot said that too." "A lot. You were meant for Harmony School. A diplomatic institution. Peaceful. Safe." Voss looked down at her with what might have been concern. It was hard to tell with a face made of crystals. "This place will kill you, small human." "Maybe," Lily said. She did not seem worried. "But I'm already here. And my mom always said you should try new things." Voss did not know what to say to this. In 1,000 years of running the academy, no student had ever responded to a death warning with advice from their mother. The other students watched in silence. A reptilian female with green scales and long fangs leaned toward the shadow creature beside her. "How long do you think she will last?" she whispered. "1 day," the shadow replied. "Maybe 2. The reptilian made a sound that might have been laughter. "I say 1 hour." Lily heard them. She turned and waved. "Hi, I'm Lily. What are your names?" Neither of them answered. They simply stared at her like she had grown a second head. Commander Voss made a decision. The paperwork was clear. Until the Bureau sent correction documents, Lily Parker was a student of Korath Academy. The rules had to be followed. You will be assigned to Barrack 7, Voss said. Your training begins tomorrow at dawn. I suggest you rest, small human. You will need your strength. Lily picked up her bag. Where is Barrack 7? A junior instructor, a four-legged creature covered in gray fur, stepped forward. Follow me, it growled Dot as they walked across the training grounds. Lily looked at everything with wide, curious eyes. She watched students twice her size wrestling in combat pits. She watched laser fire light up target ranges. She watched a group of cadets lift boulders that must have weighed tons. Through it all, she kept asking questions. What's that building for? Why is that student on fire? Is that a real sword? Do you have a cafeteria? The instructor answered none of them. It simply walked faster, hoping the strange human would run out of words. She did not. Barrack 7 was a long building made of the same black stone as everything else. Inside were 6 beds, 5 of which were already claimed. The other cadets looked up when Lily entered. The reptilian female from earlier was there. Her name was Kira, and her yellow eyes narrowed when she saw who her new roommate was. A four-armed insectoid stood by the window. His name was Marcus, and he communicated mostly through clicks and chemical signals. His antennae twitched with confusion. A being made of soft, glowing light sat cross-legged on her bed. Her name was Elena, and she was telepathic. She took one look at Lily's mind and immediately looked away, rubbing her temples. A massive creature made of living stone sat on the floor because the beds were too small for him. His name was David, and he said nothing. A shapeshifter sat on the last bed. Her name was Anna, and as Lily entered, she changed her form to match the human girl exactly. It was meant as a mockery. Lily looked at the copy of herself and gasped with delight. That's amazing. Can you do anyone? Can you do a dinosaur? Do you know what a dinosaur is? Anna shifted back to her normal form, a silver-skinned humanoid. She did not know how to respond to enthusiasm. Lily set her bag on the empty bed. It was too big for her, made for species much larger. She climbed up and sat with her legs dangling over the edge. I'm Lily, she said to the room. I'm really excited to be here. I think we're going to be great friends. Kira made a hissing sound. We are not friends, human. We are survivors. And you will not survive. Lily considered this. Then she shrugged. We'll see, she said. Outside. The sun set behind the mountains, painting the sky in shades of red and orange. Somewhere in the distance, something roared. Explosions echoed across the training grounds. Lily Parker, the first human to ever set foot in Korath Military Academy, lay down on her oversized bed and closed her eyes. She was still smiling. The alarm screamed through Barrack 7 at 4 in the morning. Lily fell out of her bed and hit the stone floor hard. Around her, the other cadets were already standing, already dressed, already prepared. Kira looked down at the human on the floor. The culling begins today, she said. Try not to die too quickly. It would be embarrassing for the rest of us. Lily rubbed her head and stood up. What's the culling? Nobody answered. They were already walking out the door. Outside, the sky was still dark. Hundreds of cadets gathered on the main training ground. Commander Voss stood on a raised platform, their crystal body glowing softly in the darkness. Welcome to your first trial, Voss said. Their voice carried across the silent crowd. The culling is a tradition. For 1 week, you will face tests designed to find your limits. Some of you will pass. Some of you will fail. Some of you will die. A pause. This is the way of Korath. Lily raised her hand. Everyone stared at her. Nobody raised their hand during Commander Voss's speeches. Voss tilted their crystalline head. Yes, small human? Did we get breakfast first? A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd. Several species did not even know what breakfast was. Others could not believe anyone would ask such a question at such a moment. Voss was silent for a long moment. "No," they finally said. "You do not." Lily lowered her hand. "Okay, just checking." The first trial was simple. Each barracks team would be dropped into a frozen canyon on the north side of the planet. They had to survive for 3 days. No weapons would be provided. No food, no shelter. Only their skills and their teammates. Transport ships carried the cadets to their locations. Lily sat with her 5 barracks mates as their ship flew over endless fields of ice and snow. Through the window, she could see creatures moving below. They were white and fast and had too many legs. "Ice hunters," Marcus clicked. His translator box turned the sounds into words. "Extremely dangerous. They hunt in packs. Very territorial. How do we fight them?" Lily asked. David spoke for the first time since she had arrived. His voice was like rocks grinding together. "We kill them before they kill us." The ship landed in a valley surrounded by walls of blue ice. The moment the doors opened, freezing wind hit them like a fist. Lily's thin academy uniform did nothing against the cold. She started shivering immediately. The ship flew away. They were alone. Kira took charge at once. "We need to find shelter. David, break ice to make a cave. Marcus, scout the area. Elena, watch for threats. Anna, gather anything useful." She looked at Lily last. "You try not to freeze." Everyone moved. Everyone except Lily. She stood in the snow, looking around. Her teeth were chattering, but her eyes were busy. She was thinking. "We need fire," she said. Kira hissed with frustration. "Humans and their fire. We do not have time for fire. We need shelter first." "Fire is shelter," Lily said. "Fire is warmth. Fire is safety. Fire keeps bad things away." "What would you know about keeping bad things away?" Kira demanded. "You are the weakest creature I have ever seen." Lily did not argue. She simply started walking around the valley, picking up things. Dead plants frozen stiff. Dried moss from under rocks. Strange bark from the few twisted trees that grew here. The others watched her with confusion and annoyance. David finished breaking a small cave into the ice wall. It was cramped and cold, but it blocked the wind. Marcus returned from scouting with bad news. Ice hunters had already found their scent. A pack of at least 20 was circling the valley. "We fight," Kira said, her claws extending. "We cannot win against 20, Marcus calculated. Mathematical probability of survival is 11%. Anna shifted into a combat form, growing armored plates and sharp edges. "Then we die fighting." "Wait," Lily said. She had built a small pile of everything she had collected. Now she was kneeling beside it, holding 2 rocks. She struck them together. Sparks flew. She struck them again. And again. "What are you doing?" Elena asked. She had been quiet this whole time, staying far from Lily. The human's mind was too loud, too strange. "Making fire," Lily said. On her 20th try, the sparks caught. A tiny flame appeared. Lily fed it carefully. Dried moss. Dead plants. Thin bark. The flame grew. It flickered and danced and fought against the cold wind. The ice hunters appeared at the edge of the valley. They were terrible things. White fur. Red eyes. Mouths full of teeth. They moved like water, flowing between the rocks, surrounding the small group of cadets. Kira prepared to attack. David raised his massive stone fists. Anna grew more weapons. Marcus calculated angles of attack. Elena searched for weak points in the creatures. Minds. Lily stood up and began to sing. The sound that came from her mouth was unlike anything the others had ever heard. It was soft and slow and strange. A melody. a pattern of notes that rose and fell like waves. An old earth lullaby her grandmother had taught her when she was very small. The ice hunters stopped, their red eyes fixed on the tiny human with the tiny fire. They had never heard anything like this before. In their millions of years of existence, no prey had ever made sounds like these. They did not know what to do. Lily kept singing. The fire kept burning. She stepped forward slowly, still singing, and added more fuel to the flames. The fire grew larger, brighter, warmer. The ice hunters began to retreat. The combination of fire and strange sounds confused them. This prey was wrong. This prey did not act like prey. They did not understand, and things they did not understand were dangerous. One by one, they vanished into the frozen darkness. Lily stopped singing. The valley was silent except for the crackle of the fire. Her barracks mates stared at her. What was that? Kira demanded. What did you do to them? Lily shrugged. Animals back home don't like loud noises either. And everything is scared of fire. I figured it was worth trying. You figured it was worth trying, Kira repeated. She did not know whether to be angry or impressed. Elena was looking at Lily differently now. You were not afraid, she said slowly. I felt your mind when the hunters appeared. You were not afraid at all. Sure I was, Lily said. I was really scared. But being scared doesn't mean you can't do things. It just means you have to do them while being scared. The others did not understand this. Fear was weakness. Fear was something to eliminate. The idea of acting while afraid was foreign to them. They survived the 3 days. Lily kept the fire burning the entire time. When they ran out of fuel, she made the others help her find more. When food became a problem, she showed them which frozen plants could be eaten and which could not. She had no idea if it would work on alien bodies, but it was better than starving. Marcus kept count of how many times the ice hunters returned. 12 times. Each time, Lily's fire and strange sounds drove them away. When the transport ship came to pick them up, all 6 members of Barrack 7 were alive. They were the only complete team to survive the first trial with no casualties. Commander Voss reviewed the reports with growing interest. The human had not fought. She had not demonstrated strength or speed or any quality the Academy valued. And yet her team had done better than teams filled with the galaxy's most powerful young warriors. Voss began a new file on their computer. The label read, Lily Parker, Observation Priority. 2 months passed at Korath Academy. Lily Parker failed almost everything. In strength tests, she could not lift even the lightest weights. David watched her struggle with a stone that he could carry with one finger. He did not laugh. He simply looked confused. In speed tests, she finished last every single time. Anna, in her fastest form, could cross the training ground in 3 seconds. Lily took 2 full minutes, and she was breathing hard by the end. In combat training, she lost every match. Kira beat her in 11 seconds during their first practice fight. The second time took 9 seconds. The third time, Kira simply refused to fight. There is no honor in this, she said. It is like fighting a baby. In survival classes, she needed 3 times more food and water than anyone else. Her body could not handle temperature changes. She got sick when the weather shifted. Marcus studied her biological readings and clicked with amazement. Humans are so inefficient, he said. How did your species survive at all? Lily just shrugged. We're stubborn, I guess. The instructors did not know what to do with her. She met none of the Academy's standards. Every test designed to measure a cadet's worth placed her at the very bottom. Captain Drake, a tall instructor with gray skin and 4 eyes, argued loudly that she should be removed. She is a waste of resources, he told Commander Voss during a staff meeting. Every moment spent on her is a moment taken from real soldiers. Voss said nothing. They were still watching, still collecting data, because strange things kept happening. During a tactical simulation, the cadets had to capture a heavily defended fortress. Every team used the same basic approaches: strength, speed, overwhelming force. Every team failed. Then it was Barrack 7's turn. Kira began planning a frontal assault. Marcus calculated attack vectors. David prepared to smash through walls. Elena searched for mental weaknesses in the defense system. Anna shifted into an infiltration form. Lily raised her hand. What if we don't attack at all? Everyone stopped. Explain, Kira said. Well, Lily said slowly, the simulation wants us to fight, right? Everyone expects us to fight. So, the defenses are built for fighting. She pointed at the fortress model. But what if we just walked up and knocked on the door? Silence. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard, Kira said. They tried it anyway. They had nothing to lose. Lily walked up to the fortress's main gate. The defense system scanned her. She was clearly a cadet. She was clearly approaching. All protocols said to attack. But she was not attacking. She was not hiding. She was just walking. The systems did not know what to do. Lily knocked on the door. Hello? She called out. Is anyone home? The simulation crashed. It had no programming for this situation. Nobody had ever tried it before. In 1,000 years of this test, every single cadet had attacked. The idea of not attacking had never been considered. The instructors had to manually end the simulation. They argued for 3 hours about whether Barrack 7 had passed or failed. In the end, Voss declared it a pass. The objective was to enter the fortress. Barrack 7 had entered the fortress. Method did not matter. Captain Drake was furious that another strange event happened during negotiation training. Cadets had to convince hostile aliens to surrender. Most used threats. Some used logic. A few tried bribery. All of these were standard approaches, and the simulated aliens had responses ready for all of them. Lily tried something else. She told a joke. Why did the spaceship break up with the asteroid? She asked the simulated alien commander. The commander stared at her. This was not in any protocol. Because it needed more space, Lily said. She laughed at her own joke. The sound was bright and genuine and completely unexpected. The simulated alien commander's programming had no category for this. It was not a threat. It was not logic. It was not bribery. It was not anything. The simulation froze for almost a full minute. When it unfroze, the alien commander surrendered. Its systems had decided that anything this unpredictable was too dangerous to fight. Elena watched all of this with growing fascination. She still avoided reading Lily's mind directly. The one time she had tried, it gave her a headache that lasted 3 days. Human thoughts were not like other thoughts. They jumped around. They contradicted themselves. They held emotions and logic and memories and dreams all at the same time, all tangled together. Your mind is chaos, Elena told Lily one night in the barracks. Lily was braiding her hair, something she did when she was thinking. Is that bad? I do not know, Elena admitted. Among my people, clear minds are valued. Ordered thoughts. Clean patterns. Your mind is none of these things. It is like a storm. But somehow, she struggled to find the words. Somehow the storm has a direction. My mom says I think too much, Lily offered. No, Elena said slowly. I think you think differently. And different is dangerous. Different is powerful. Commander Voss called Lily to their office at the end of the 2nd month. The human girl sat in a chair designed for beings 3 times her size. Her feet did not touch the floor. You should be dead, Voss said. It was not a threat. It was simply a fact. By every measurement we have, you should have failed. Your strength is minimal. Your speed is poor. Your combat ability is almost nothing. And yet, the crystal being leaned forward. And yet, you are still here. Your team performs better than teams with far superior members. You solve problems in ways nobody anticipates. Explain this to me, small human. Lily thought about it. She kicked her dangling feet back and forth while she considered the question. I think, she said finally, it's because I don't know I'm supposed to lose. Voss waited for more. Everyone here looks at me and sees someone weak, Lily continued. They expect me to fail. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm weak. But nobody told me that meant I had to give up. So I just keep trying. And sometimes trying is enough. Voss was silent for a long time. Humans, they finally said. You are a very strange species. Lily smiled. Thank you. She did not understand that it was not entirely a compliment. Or maybe she did, and she simply chose to take it as one anyway. This, Voss realized, might be the most human thing of all. Back in Barracks 7, something had changed. The other cadets no longer looked at Lily with annoyance or contempt. Kira still complained about her weakness, but now she also saved food for her at meals. Marcus had started keeping statistics on Lily's impossible successes. David sometimes carried her bag without being asked. Anna had stopped mocking her. Elena had started sitting closer to her, despite the headaches. They were not friends. Not exactly. Korath cadets did not have friends, but they were something. Something new. Something none of them had words for. Lily was happy. She did not know that darkness was coming. She did not know that someone at the academy had decided she was too dangerous to live. She just kept smiling, kept trying, kept being impossible. It was perhaps the most dangerous thing she could do. Captain Drake watched Lily Parker cross the training ground. His 4 eyes followed her every movement. She was talking to a group of senior cadets, and they were listening. Listening to a human. A weak, fragile, impossible human. This was wrong. Everything about this was wrong. Drake had served at Korath Academy for 80 years. He understood how the galaxy worked. The strong ruled. The weak served. This was natural law. This was how things were meant to be. But Lily Parker did not follow natural law. She broke rules simply by existing. She made warriors laugh. She made predators hesitate. She made the strong protect the weak instead of crushing them. She was a disease spreading through the academy, and Drake knew that diseases had to be cut out before they destroyed everything. He was not alone in his thinking. A small group of instructors and senior cadets had been meeting in secret. They called themselves the True Path. They believed Korath was becoming soft. They blamed the human. She must be removed, Drake said at their latest meeting. Permanently. A senior cadet, a massive creature covered in bone armor, shifted uncomfortably. Commander Voss is watching her closely. If something happens, nothing will happen, Drake said. There will be an accident. Training accidents occur all the time. The human was always going to die here. We are simply making sure it happens sooner rather than later. The plan was simple. During the next live combat exercise, Lily would be separated from her team. She would find herself alone in a restricted zone. War drones would be waiting. They were programmed to eliminate any targets in that zone. By the time anyone realized what had happened, it would be too late. The exercise began 3 days later. All barracks teams were sent into the maze, a massive underground complex filled with traps and challenges. The objective was to reach the center and capture a flag. Combat was expected. Casualties were acceptable. Barracks 7 moved through the tunnels together. Kira took point, her night vision perfect in the darkness. Marcus mapped their route. his forearms working constantly. David walked at the rear, ready to crush anything that attacked from behind. Anna shifted between scouting forms, slipping ahead to check for danger. Elena kept her mind open, searching for hostile thoughts. Lily walked in the middle, holding a small light she had made from materials found in the tunnels. She was humming softly. "Stop that noise," Kira hissed. "You will reveal our position." "Sorry," Lily whispered. But she kept humming anyway, just more quietly. They reached a junction where 5 tunnels met. Marcus studied the paths. "The center is that direction," he clicked, pointing left. "But I am detecting unusual energy signatures ahead. Possible trap." "We go around." Kira decided that they started moving toward an alternate route. A hidden door slid open beside Lily. Before anyone could react, a mechanical arm grabbed her and pulled her through. The door slammed shut. "Lily!" Elena shouted. She threw herself at the door, but it was solid metal, inches thick. David hit it with all his strength. The metal dented but did not break. He hit it again, and again. His stone fists cracked from the force. "Stop," Marcus said. "You will destroy yourself before you break through." "Then what do we do?" Kira demanded. She was clawing at the walls, looking for another way through. Anna shifted into a liquid form and tried to flow through the cracks. She reformed on the other side, but the tunnel was empty. Lily was already gone. She was taken deeper into the maze, Anna reported. "There are war drones everywhere. They are heading toward her position." Elena closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. She had avoided reading Lily's thoughts for months. The chaos was too much. The headaches were too severe. But now she had no choice. She found Lily's mind in the darkness. It was blazing like a star, thoughts spinning in every direction. And in that storm of chaos, Elena felt something that made her breath catch. Lily was not afraid for herself. She was afraid for them. "She is worried about us," Elena said. "She thinks we will get hurt trying to save her." Kira made a sound that was almost a laugh. "That stupid human? She's about to die, and she is worried about us." "We have to find her," David said. It was the most words he had spoken at once since Lily arrived. Marcus was already working. His forearms flew across a control panel he had found on the wall. "I can access the maze's systems. If I can find the drone network." His antennae twitched. "There, I have the location. She is in Sector 7. 17 war drones are closing on her position. We have 4 minutes. Then we move," Kira said. Now, they ran. Through tunnels filled with traps. Past other teams who shouted in confusion. Over obstacles and through doors and around corners. David simply smashed through anything in their way. Kira's claws found hidden switches that opened shortcuts. Anna became a map of the maze itself, her body displaying routes in glowing lines. Marcus guided them with constant updates. Elena kept her mind locked on Lily. The connection hurt. It felt like holding fire, but she did not let go. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. They burst through a final door into a large circular chamber. War drones filled the space. Deadly machines with weapons drawn, all pointed at the center of the room, where Lily sat calmly on the floor, surrounded by pieces of disabled drones. She looked up at her barracks mates. Her face was dirty, and there was a cut on her arm, but she was smiling. "Took you long enough," she said. Kira stared at the destroyed drones. "How?" Lily held up a small multi-tool. "I stole this from the supply room 3 weeks ago. Just in case." She pointed at the nearest disabled drone. "These things are motion-triggered. When they pulled me in here, I just stopped moving. Completely still. They went into standby mode because they didn't detect a target. Then I started taking them apart. You You defeated 17 war drones? Marcus calculated. With a multi-tool? I didn't defeat them. I just made them stop working. Lily stood up and brushed dirt off her uniform. There's a difference. David walked forward and picked her up. He put her on his shoulder like she weighed nothing at all. We go now, he said. The 4 more come. They went. Behind them, the remaining drones began to reactivate. But it was too late. Barrack 7 was already gone. Commander Voss reviewed the security footage that night. They saw the hidden door. They saw the mechanical arm. They traced the modifications to the maze's systems and found Captain Drake's access codes. Drake was arrested before dawn. At his hearing, he screamed about the danger Lily represented. She is changing everything, he shouted. She's making us weak. The strong are supposed to rule. This is the natural order. Voss looked at him for a long moment. You are wrong, they said finally. Strength is not only in muscles and weapons. The human has shown us that she has revealed a kind of strength we did not know existed. The crystal being turned away. Remove him. That night, Barrack 7 sat together in their room. They did not speak for a long time. Finally, Kira broke the silence. Why did you worry about us? She asked Lily. Elena said you were afraid for us. You were the one in danger. Lily looked surprised by the question. Because you're my team. You're my friends. If something happened to you because of me, I don't know what I would do. Friends, Anna repeated. She had taken Lily's form again, but this time it was not mockery. She was trying to understand. Is that what we are? I think so, Lily said. Isn't that what friends do? Worry about each other? Help each other? Run through scary tunnels to save each other? The barracks was quiet again. Yes, David said. His voice was soft for a being made of stone. I think that is what friends do. Lily smiled. It was the same smile she had worn since the day she arrived. Bright and warm and completely without fear. Her friends, because that is what they were now, smiled back in their own ways. Something had changed at Karth Academy. Something small but powerful. Something that could not be stopped. And it had all started with a clerical error, and a human girl who did not know she was supposed to be afraid. The tribunal chamber was the largest room in Karth Academy. Its walls were carved from ancient stone, covered in the names of warriors who had graduated and gone on to shape the galaxy. Thousands of names. 1,000 years of history. Today, that chamber was full. Captain Drake stood in chains before a panel of judges. His 4 eyes were wild with anger. He had been found guilty of attempted murder, conspiracy, and violation of Academy law. His punishment would be severe. But that was not why everyone had gathered. The Galactic Education Bureau had finally sent their correction documents. A senior official named Ambassador Peters had traveled from the Central Worlds to personally retrieve Lily Parker and deliver her to Harmony School, where she belonged. Ambassador Peters stood at the front of the chamber. He was a thin man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had processed thousands of transfer requests in his career. This should have been simple. It was not simple. The paperwork is clear, Peters said, holding up a tablet. Lily Parker, human, age 12, was incorrectly assigned to Korath Military Academy. This was a clerical error. I am here to correct that error and escort her to her proper destination. Commander Voss stood beside him. Their crystal body cast rainbow patterns across the walls. We understand, they said. The human may leave whenever she wishes. Peters nodded. Good, then let us proceed. Where's the girl? She is here, Voss said. But before she goes, there are those who wish to speak. The chamber doors opened. Barrack 7 entered. Kira walked first. Her scales gleamed in the light. Her head was high. She approached the tribunal panel and stood at attention. I wish to address the court, she said. The head judge, a being made of living flame, flickered with surprise. This is irregular. The matter is simple. A transfer request. I have information relevant to the request, Kira said. By Academy law, I have the right to be heard. The flame being considered. Very well, speak. Kira turned to face the crowded chamber. Her eyes found Lily in the audience. The human girl was sitting quietly, her legs swinging because her feet did not reach the floor. When the human arrived, Kira began. I hated her. She was weak. She was small. She did not belong here. I thought she would die in days. I thought watching her fail would be entertaining. She paused. I was wrong. The chamber was silent. The human taught me something. She taught me that strength is not only in fangs and claws. She taught me that there is power in kindness, in creativity, in refusing to give up even when everyone tells you that you should. Kira's voice grew stronger. She faced the ice hunters with nothing but fire and sound. She defeated war drones with a small tool. She changed the way I think about what it means to be a warrior. She taught me that strength without wisdom is just violence, and violence without purpose is just destruction. Kira stepped back. Marcus stepped forward. His translator box clicked as he spoke. I have kept detailed records of the human's time here. I have documented 17 instances where her presence directly contributed to mission success. I have noted 43 examples of other cadets changing their behavior after interacting with her. I have measured a 14% increase in cooperation among teams that include diverse species. The data is clear. The human improves everything she touches. Marcus stepped back. Elena stepped forward. The telepathic being was trembling slightly. Reading minds was her gift, but speaking in public was hard for her. She forced herself to continue. I avoided her mind for months, Elena said. Human thoughts are chaos. Beautiful, terrible chaos. I could not understand how anyone could function with such disorder in their head. She took a deep breath. But I understand now. The chaos is not weakness. It is creativity. It is imagination. It is the ability to see possibilities that ordered minds cannot see. When I finally looked into her thoughts, do you know what I found? Nobody answered. Love, Elena said. So much love. For her family. For her home. For us. She came to the deadliest school in the galaxy, surrounded by beings who wanted her dead. And her first thought, every single day, was how to help others. That is not weakness. That is a kind of strength I did not know existed. Elena stepped back. David stepped forward. The stone giant stood before the tribunal. His voice rumbled like an earthquake. She is small, he said. But she is not weak. He stepped back. Anna stepped forward. She had taken her natural silver form. I tried to mock her when she arrived. I took her shape to show her how pathetic she was. She responded with joy. She was happy that I could change forms. She asked me to show her more. Anna's voice cracked slightly. No one had ever been happy about what I could do. Most species fear shapeshifters. She just thought it was amazing. She looked at Lily. I have spent my whole life being what others wanted me to be. She made me want to be myself. I do not want her to go. The chamber was very quiet now. Ambassador Peters cleared his throat. This is all very touching, but the law is clear. The girl was assigned incorrectly. She must be transferred. Commander Voss raised a crystalline hand. May I speak? The head judge flickered. Of course, Commander. Voss walked to the center of the chamber. Their light fell across everyone present. I have led this academy for 1,000 years, they said. I have seen the strongest warriors in the galaxy pass through these halls. I have watched them grow. I have watched them grow. I have watched them fall. I have seen what strength looks like in 10,000 different forms. They turned to look at Lily. And I tell you now that I have never seen anyone stronger than this small human girl. Peters opened his mouth to object. Voss continued, "You ask how this can be. She cannot lift heavy stones. She cannot run fast. She cannot fight. But strength is not these things alone. Strength is facing impossible odds and refusing to surrender. Strength is finding allies where others see enemies. Strength is changing the world not through force, but through love." Voss's voice rose. "The clerical era sent us a human child. We thought it was a mistake. But I no longer believe that. I believe the universe sent us exactly what we needed. A lesson, a reminder, a light in the darkness that showed us we had lost our way." The crystal being turned to face Ambassador Peters directly. "Lily Parker is a student of Karth Military Academy. She has earned her place here. I will not allow her to be removed." The chamber erupted in noise. Species that had been silent began talking at once. Some were angry. Some were confused. Many were nodding in agreement that the head judge raised a tendril of flame for silence. "This is unprecedented. The Bureau has legal authority over student assignments." "Then let the student decide," Voss said. "She's the one most affected. Let her choose." All eyes turned to Lily. The small human girl climbed down from her seat. She walked through the crowd of giants and monsters and beings of energy. She walked past her barracks mates, touching each of them gently as she passed. She walked to the center of the chamber and looked up at the judges. "I want to stay," she said. Peter sighed. "Child, you don't understand. Harmony School is safe. It is appropriate for your species. You would be with other humans. You would be protected." Lily shook her head. "I don't need to be protected. I need to be here." She looked at her friends. "They need me, and I need them. That's what family is, right? You don't leave family just because things are hard." The head judge flickered thoughtfully. "Family. An interesting word from a human surrounded by aliens." "Family isn't about species," Lily said. "Family is about choosing each other. Every day. No matter what." The chamber was silent. Ambassador Peters looked at Commander Voss. He looked at the 5 aliens who had spoken in defense of a human child. He looked at Lily, standing small and alone and completely unafraid in the center of the most dangerous school in the galaxy. He put away his tablet. "I will report to the Bureau that the transfer was declined," he said. "The student has chosen to remain." Lily smiled. It was the same smile she had worn when she first arrived. The smile that everyone had thought was ignorance. The smile that Captain Drake had thought was a mistake. It was not ignorance. It was not a mistake. It was the smile of someone who saw the universe clearly, who saw the danger and the darkness and the fear, who saw all of it and chose joy anyway. 1 year later, Lily Parker graduated from the Culling with the highest survival rating in Academy history. She still could not lift heavy weights or run fast or win fights. But she had something better. She had 5 friends who would die for her. She had the respect of commanders and the fear of enemies. She had changed a 1,000-year-old institution simply by being herself. And every morning, she walked through halls filled with warriors and monsters and beings of pure energy. And she smiled. Because Lily Parker knew something the galaxy was only beginning to understand. Humans were not weak. They were not strong in the way the galaxy expected. They were strong in ways the galaxy had never seen before. They were stubborn and creative and full of love. They refused to accept impossible odds. They made friends of enemies and family of strangers. They were, in their own strange way, the most powerful species in existence, not because they could destroy, because they could connect. and in a universe full of darkness, connection was the greatest strength of all. The end.